Well, that's right. The call for the minute's silence has not really been widely reported in the UK, and it hasn't really made front-page headlines. And if you talk to certainly younger people, they have a hazy knowledge about what happened in Munich in 1972. But London itself has long been a target for terrorists, and Londoners take a real pride in the city, which perhaps explains why they're willing to push back at International Olympics officials for riding roughshod over the city. That's the message from London politicians who have passed a motion at City Hall calling for a minute's silence. They say they're standing up to the International Olympics Committee, and London should be able to do what it wants.
I think the fact remains that the IOC forget that they are guests in our city. It's become a bit like a cuckoo in the nest in the way that the IOC have planted itself in London, yet seem to want to take over the whole of the capital.
Supporters of the motion also say the Munich attacks went beyond politics and nationality.
If the victims had been of any other nationality apart from Israeli, there wouldn't be this fuss about it. I think that the real issue here is the unwillingness of the IOC to put the principles of the Olympics and the fact that these people were Olympians first and foremost here above their business interests.
The 2012 Games have sparked controversy ever since London first won its bid to host them. Londoners routinely express outrage over the amount of public money that's been spent and the disruption to transport and business. But reactions are strikingly mixed over the call for a minute's silence.
Anybody that's been killed tragically deserves the respect from everybody else, and it's appropriate to have a minute's silence at the beginning of the Games.
The minute's silence should be reserved for Remembrance Day, when we remember the dead who've fallen in the First World War, the Second World War, the Falklands War and other conflicts involving British service, and I think it should be kept for then.
It's not appropriate because there's so many different things that you could use the Olympics for that have happened since and before, so I don't think it's appropriate to single out an individual event like that for particular recognition at that particular point.
The Olympics is about people, and I think it's celebrating people but also remembering important events, and certainly something as tragic as that I think needs to be recognised, and I think it'd be appropriate to do that, yes.
Why now and not before?
There's little expectation among Israeli diplomats in London that Olympics officials will change their mind, which is why a separate commemoration is being organised. They still argue, though, that the Munich attacks deserve to be remembered as part of the official ceremonies.
It signified an attack on the Olympic community, indeed on the international community at large. And this is why we think it's not an exclusive Israeli concern. This is what we're not doing this in order to score political points. The message we're hoping to convey through maintaining a minute's silence is that of universal values, the same universal values that gave rise to the Olympic Games to begin with.
With just weeks to go before the Olympics, a massive security operation is underway in London, where memories of terrorist attacks run deep. London Assembly members say they have broad cross-party support for the call for a minute's silence at the Olympics. They also say they're not going to give up until the International Olympics Committee changes its mind. But if you talk to people in the street here in London, you get the sense that they're a bit more ambivalent about the call for any sort of commemoration at the Olympics. But officials here at London City Hall say the IOC would do well to remember that they're guests here. Nina Maria Potts for JN1 in London.